I'm Brian Donovan with Thai Martial Arts, and today I want to go over a quick lesson on how to transition in and out of your twisting stances or your resting stances, depending on whatever you call it and which way you do it. So just about every traditional martial art is going to have some type of twisting stance, and it's going to vary on how they're using it as far as like how low they're going, why they're going that low, why they're staying that high, how they're moving in and out of it, that type of thing. Okay. The reason for this lesson is I find that quite a bit of beginners, when they're first starting with this lesson, they struggle being able to transition properly and safely in and out of this stance. So, as an example, we'll take like out of a piece out of our small Buddha fist, or out of our small low hand or our hat, whatever you want to call it. So from here, there's an untwist part before we go into our next motion. Now, if you're not doing this correctly, you can end up actually hurting yourself. So this is geared more towards beginners, or even instructors who are struggling with students who are struggling with this idea as well. So think of it this way: anytime I pivot, if I'm going to pivot, say from a horse stance to a bow stance, it's perfectly fine to pivot on a heel. Okay? So what I mean by that is, in order for me to turn to this direction in a bow stance, I lift up my toes and I pivot on that heel, and that's perfectly fine. You're going a short distance, okay? And then you're gonna pivot on the back foot on the ball of the foot, okay, to elongate that stance. Now, because I'm only turning about 90 degrees or less, depending, maybe I want to turn a bow stance this way or something like that, only 45 degrees, that's perfectly fine to pivot on your heel. Anytime I've noticed that you're going over 90 degrees and you have to spin, like on a spinning side kick or something like that, or any type of spinning kick, always on the ball of the foot, okay? So if I show you from a side view, and you guys can play with this at home, play with it very carefully, I don't want you to hurt yourself. So if I lean on my leg here, and I lift my toes off the ground, and I kind of dig in a little bit, and pivot back and forth, just rock back and forth nice and slow, you're going to notice that the pressure, the majority of the pressure, is going to be applied to your joints, ankle, knee, or hip joint. And whichever one is the weakest one, when you go 100% full speed, that's the one that's going to blow out first, okay? So we always pivot on the balls of the foot. So if you look at my leg position, when my knee is straight, the energy has nowhere to go except to the joints. It's going to go to those weak links, where now the energy is going to be distributed throughout the leg, okay? And we want that energy applied to the muscle fibers that are designed to be flexible. So now when I pivot, the muscles are going to receive most of that energy, so this way they're not going to hurt your joints. So if I am performing like a spinning side kick or something like that, and I'll try to see if I can catch it on camera, I want to make sure that I'm up on my toes, okay? And we'll get into how to do this a little bit later on. So from here, now I'm going to over-exaggerate. I do the same thing, I do the same drill with my students. So I'll take a seam, because we got all these puzzle piece mats, so I'll have them on a seam, and I'll tell them, it's like, okay, stay up on the toe, and now what you're going to do is you're going to chamber this knee, and spin on the ball of the foot, keeping on the ball of the foot. So we'll do that as a drill, just like stationary, watch themselves in the mirror. So it's like, okay, spin and spin back, staying on the balls of the foot. So this way you get in a good habit of always spinning on the balls of the foot. It's going to make you faster, and it's also going to keep your leg joints safe. Now, in the case of the twisting stance or the resting stance, it's the same thing. So if I'm here, I'll just do it sideways. So if I'm here into my resting stance and I want to turn 180 degrees behind me into a horse stance, that's all going to happen on the balls of the feet, okay? What I see commonly, because my back foot is on the ball of the foot, and because my front leg is on the flat of the foot, what I commonly see is exactly this. The back foot will pivot and turn on the toes, and then I'll see students lift up those toes to pivot on that heel there. And that's fine if you're going super slow like this. When you start speeding up, and you're going through your forms, and it gets faster and faster because you're getting more comfortable with the forms, you're getting more comfortable with the movements, the muscle memory is taking over, it's becoming second nature, and you're moving faster and faster and faster. Eventually one of those joints is going to give out, okay? So again, if it is 90 degrees or less, okay, it is perfectly okay to pivot on the heel. If it is more than 90 degrees and you start getting into twists and turns, you start getting into spinning, has to be on the ball of the foot, okay? All right, so just wanted to share that little tip with you. Again, that's mostly for beginners. I get that, but I see a lot of beginners as they're going through their forms, they make that mistake, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention so this way, as you're going through your practices, you're creating good habits as you grow through your art form, okay? And it doesn't matter. This will apply to Taekwondo, Karate, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, yada, 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 yada. Any of these stand-up arts where you're going to be twisting and turning and pivoting and moving around, this is going to apply to all those, okay? All right, so again, my name is Brian Donovan, Thai Martial Arts. Have a good one.